play.
It's time now for the play-by-play, where we replay the tape and break down the action. Still with me, Republican strategist Ron Bonjean and former DNC official Moses Mercado. All right, first, let's talk about Nancy Pelosi this weekend. The Speaker of the House, there seems to be no sign of a thaw between the House Speaker and the White House. Pelosi isn't even referring to White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs by his given name. Here she was yesterday on ABC.
I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about what the president's employees say. We have a solid plan of messaging and mobilizing at the grassroots level and management of our campaigns, and we have a 2-to-1 advantage money-wise. So we feel very confident about where we are, whether that's well known to that gentleman or not.
That gentleman, we know that she's referring to when Robert Gibbs said that the Democrats could lose the House this year. Moses, it sounds like she's not spending a lot of time forgetting.
No, and it's difficult. Look, when I worked for the leader in the House, it was always difficult when then President Clinton's staff would say something then, because you have to control your members and everybody's got to stay on message. So I don't blame her for it. She's got a hard job, and
you've worked there too. So what's it like when the White House says your folks could lose? Do they come and start complaining?
Well, it's not fun at all, and of course we would complain if we were in that seat too. The trick here is, though, not to let it get under your skin and not to let show anybody else that it's bothering you. She should have just laughed it off and downplayed it instead of, you know, making it into something, because then we still believe, yeah, the House really is in trouble. I guess it's not really a secret.
That's your argument. But do you think this is a message to the White House, don't say it again?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a shot across the bow to the press secretary that if you say it again, we're going to have real problems.
The press secretary, you mean that gentleman?
Yeah, yeah. That gentleman, absolutely.
Right, that guy.
Right.
All right. Sarah Palin, our next story, is a palm reader. Palin was on TV yesterday talking tax cuts when the conversation turned to her now well-known habit of writing notes on her hand.
Let's ask you, what do you have written on your hand?
$3.8 trillion next 10 years, so I didn't say 3.7 and then get dinged, you know, by the liberals saying I didn't know what I was talking about.
What's wrong with notes?
I don't see any notes. I mean, I've seen in the last, I've got glimpses of Fox News a couple of times. They're really after Palin. I guess they're really worried that she may be the front runner. So I think they're all trying to take a swipe at her. So as a Democrat, I like her up there.
You like it?
I like it.
Because she's bad for the Republicans, or because you find her...
Well, it just sort of shows the extreme part of the party, where I think America is in it. They're more in the center.
Does that warm the cockles of your heart when you see that?
Well, I think it's hilarious. She should start actually selling her hand, selling ads in her hand, Coke, Pepsi, whatever. You know?
That's true. Take out ads.
She can make a lot of money from corporate sponsors if you pull that. But it's an interesting way for her to get her message out, and she did.
You think she's doing that deliberately?
I think she did that deliberately.
Yeah, she's very ironic and plays the media a little bit.
This was definitely a plan.
It was her, yeah. Okay. This is a rather memorable ad. Once you see it, talk about hitting below the belt. Take a look at this ad, and the Connecticut Republican Senate candidate, Peter Schiff, is running against his opponent, Linda McMahon, who, as we know, made a lot of money running the World Wrestling Federation. Is it called WWF? Yes. Okay, watch.
Liberal Linda McMahon has kicked Republicans for years. Liberal McMahon contributed thousands of dollars to National Democrats. Liberal McMahon attended the Democrat National Convention. McMahon supporting Obama's bailouts. Isn't that just a kick in the...
Ouch. Okay, first is the World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE now. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think, you know, I don't like the ad. And frankly, she's going to win. She's going to win the primary. It's not really a problem here. And I think it was really below the belt. And it was across the line.
Literally?
Yeah, literally below the belt.
Just a lot of puns there, across the line.
A lot of puns there. And she's going to win the primary, and she's going to take on Richard Blumenthal.
And what do you think that's appropriate?
Democrat, I kind of like this, that they're sort of fighting
going
with
at
each other. But, you know, it's kind of funny. It reminds the way, you know, they had her on there in the ring to remind everybody that she made her money from wrestling.
Okay, I have a question that you gentlemen might see differently from me. Do you think it's a little bit sexist that a strong woman is accused of hitting below the belt for being tough on her opponent?
Well, she sure could get the sympathy vote. There's no question about that. And that's not something you want to do when you're trying to attack her, is to have a boomerang on you. So sure.
Are you allowed to hit below the belt in WWE rules, or you guys don't watch?
Probably not. Well, you know, I bet you, I don't know if there what rules are
on Mondays. On Mondays.
On Mondays he watches. Okay. On to the Lady Gaga story. She is among the list of celebrities who've come out against the Arizona immigration law, but her take is don't boycott, protest. Watch.
And the nature of the monster ball is to actively protest prejudice and injustice
Okay, so the bottom line here is instead of boycotting the state like some others have done, she decided to hold a concert in Arizona and then say whatever she just said.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a more effective thing than boycotting if you're opposed?
I don't. I really don't. If you look back at apartheid in South Africa, it didn't happen because people protested. It was because of the economic impact. When people started divesting, and I went to University of Texas during the 80s, and it was the divesting of South Africa that brought it to its knees, basically.
And do you
changed.
support the boycott?
I do. You know, it's been sort of, I've not been involved in it, but I believe that that's the way to do it. If protesting, you can march as much as you want, it isn't going to change very much.
Ron,
but when the economic impact comes.
You think the boycott's hurting the wrong people?
Yeah, I do. You know, it hasn't gotten any crazier. Lady Gaga getting involved with this is just taking it over the top. And pretty soon you have protesters wearing Lady Gaga outfits. I mean, it's just out of control.
I saw someone in a Teletubby outfit at one of the protests in Arizona.
She clearly doesn't care about record sales, but you know what? I do think she's targeting the wrong people.
All right, thanks to both of you for being here. A good conversation. And coming back on the other side of the break, Sarah Palin has a new favorite word. Pete on the Street in Washington is coming up next.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Is having a snowball fight with pitching great Randy Johnson a bad idea?
Sorry, man. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, you just winged me.
Think anybody's gonna notice that?
Yeah, probably. Maybe we should just go sledding.
Yeah.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Being able to meet when you want allows you to do a lot more with your day.
I go running with the dogs, and then I do most of my meetings in my running clothes.
You can just be working on it at the same time, and you don't have to be in the same place.
It allows you as a business to be more flexible. Just allows you to do more with less.
Put meetings in their place with GoToMeeting. With one click, GoToMeeting lets you hold online meetings from anywhere. Everyone in your meeting can give presentations and sales demos, edit documents, and collaborate in real time, whether on a PC or a Mac. Hold unlimited online meetings with integrated phone and VoIP conferencing for just $49 a month.
I started GoToMeeting, and now everybody's looking at the same document.
We're able to have the kind of informal dialogue with the clients that is like being there.
I use GoToMeeting to reinvent how we do business.
GoToMeeting lets you do things that otherwise you just wouldn't do.
We just couldn't function without it.
Try GoToMeeting free today. Visit GoToMeeting.com and use promo code TV.